am I doing? This is just to shut Michaela up. This is just Michaela being me. Shut the storyteller up. Like, this is happening because my brain cannot handle this anymore. All right, let me go ahead and post about it. Be like, hey guys, no one's expecting this. No one is expecting this. It's like, why not? Let's have a conversation. Let's have a little bit of a conversation. All right, hold on. Do the because I'm just doing this off the seat of my pants. Because why not? This is hello, hey Square. How you doing, hun? All right, well, hold on. Let me just post up. Hey, hi. I'll give you a hot second. This is literally off the seat of my pants, and so I'm just gonna like, it's why it seems so like, what the hell's going on? So, forgive in that regard. There we go. Just go. Oh boy. Hi. We'll have to come back in August. Listen. Okay. I have to explain a thing. I know this is like a really rough start. Be like, everyone's like, probably like, why is Michaela streaming? What's going on? It's like, a thing happened. A thing happened, and then of course the brain got fed, and Storyteller's like, oh, we should probably listen to this idea. So give me a hot second to kind of like advertise out that the stream is happening, because I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna be like, wait, Michaela's streaming? What? Oh my goodness. Okay. I did my due diligence. Did the thing. Okay. Allow me to explain. Okay, allow me to explain what's going on. It's a hidden Mickey, right? It's a hidden Mickey. So. Oh, I probably should move. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this for half a minute. So if you're just walking into the stream, if you're just walking in and wondering, like, what's going on? Why is Michaela acting like this? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Recently, Love and Deep Space announced, I believe 4 days ago, Love and Deep Space announced that there would be a 6th love interest in Love and Deep Space. Named Valko. Valko is a fantastic character. Valko seemed to be really interesting. Design-wise, very silly, very dominant, etc., etc. Unfortunately, and I say this as objectual fact, major Chinese fanbase members of the lads community decided it was completely natural to bully Infold, harassing the developers to not have Valko in the game. So, this is an objective fact. This is evidence of the fact that Chinese fans, like a large, like vocal of the Chinese fans of Love and Deep Space, were celebrating this new news that Valko would be canceled. Basically, Infold got bullied down to not release Valko, not fix any of the issues that a lot of us have, whether it be domestic or global. And it's like, so many problems come from the fact that essentially a lot of toxic Chinese fans took to sending threats to devs and being just racist, homophobic, obnoxious motherfuckers on the internet. So, of course, this happened this morning. That's why the Discord was going up. Yep. So of course everyone's popping off, everyone's yelling and everyone's stuff because of course you have like a lot of the vocal Chinese fans being celebratory of this, but literally global and everyone else being like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we canceling Valko? Why? What's going on?" Like literally, he was supposed to make his appearance at Anime Expo this week, and now it's not gonna happen. Literally, the cosplayer I believe is no longer needed for the event. The voice actors behind Valko no longer have a stable job. The developers behind Valko all have their mourning period now because they just witnessed the birth and death of their character. It is ratchet. It is absolute fucking ratchet in all opinions. So if this ever gets onto like a Chinese server and people want to fucking blast me, I don't give a fuck. Y'all are racist as shit. Saying Valko being tan, even though he's one of the white motherfuckers there, nah. Him being muscular makes him, quote-unquote, like, feminine, when really everyone else agrees that the effeminate ones are Xavier and Raphael. Like, y'all are fucking weird. Y'all are really fucking weird for bullying the hell out of developers, for canceling a character that you can optionally opt out of, that you do not have to interact with, that you do not have to collect for. Y'all are fucking weird. I'll say that with my full goddamn chest. That's fucking weird. But then I said something offhandedly. I said something offhand. I posted up in my own passionate rage about what's going on with lads. I said, someone just give me a fuck ton of money so I can make a gacha game myself. Someone just give me a fuck ton of money, please. Let me take the reins on this. Let me do it. Let me fucking do it. And this is just an offhand, passionate post that I made because I've made Otome games before. I know how Otome games work. I am a consumer of Otome games. I was literally labeled Otome Queen by my friends when I was younger. I continue to educate myself on Otome games and romance games to this day, to where I literally got hired to write the dating romance for the dating scenarios for a game that's going to come out for Project Melody and Neptune Worlds. This is not new information. I am literally in the field for Otome games. So me being passionate about it, being like, yeah, obviously y'all don't know what you're doing, just give me the money. Let me fucking do it. Let me fucking make the game. And it blew up. It blew up a little bit. it blew up a hair on the internet. So it's one of those things where, also thank you so much for the raid, deeply appreciate it. Sorry that you walked in on me rambling and raging. But it blew up because, of course, people know my history. People know that I made Seducing the Otome. People know that I'm working on a dating sim game, etc., etc. This is, again, not new. And people are actually emailing me, asking me if they could help, if they can make it happen. Whether it be voice actors, writers, all that stuff. People have been pinging me throughout the entirety of this day. And I sat back going, oh fuck. This could be a thing, legitimately. So, the only thing, and I'm going to say this right now, the only thing that is keeping me from making this a reality is money. That's the only fucking thing. Because here's the thing. I've floated an idea of a gacha game, like, down the line in my head long, long time ago. I floated this idea around and I kind of shelved it because at what point would I ever make enough money to actually make a gacha game? Like, let's be real here. I literally struggle to survive as much as the rest of us. Like, when am I gonna have the fucking money to be able to do this? So of course I had my gacha idea and I've shelved it. But as the post kept popping off, more people started inspiring my head to look back at that shelf. To look at that shelf and go, huh, wait a minute. What if I could? What if I could make a gacha game, a dating sim gacha game? Straight up. Like, what if I could? So, keep in fucking mind, I am a broke motherfucker. I barely survive enough to pay my rent, to feed me and my husband and my cats, to basically live in a basement with my family. So keep that in mind. I have $0 to my name. We're gonna put the money to the side for a bit. We're gonna put the money away. We're gonna put the money away. No one's gonna talk about the money right now. Because let's just insinuate the idea that Silas saw my anger and just handed me his credit card, his black credit card, and said, go for it, kitten, go for it. And I take that card and I run. So what if I had Silas's black credit card and ran? What could I do essentially for this gacha game? So keep this in mind. A lot of this is going to be fucking whimsical. A lot of this is going to be just crazy, nonsensical bullshit that's coming out of the ether that no one's going to be actually able to pay for. Maybe. This is a hypothetical if money wasn't an issue idea. So I'm making this little like PowerPoint document thing because I'm writing it off as I go. Because I didn't actually write down this idea, even though I shelved it, because I didn't want it to be like disappearing in my massive folders of ideas. I literally have a folder of like VN ideas. I didn't want it to get buried. I did not want it to get buried. So I kept this one to myself on the shelf. But allow me to kind of explain my thought process on this gacha game idea. So, if I could, requirements that are needed for this game in my head. So, there's going to be, how it's going to be organized is this. There's going to be 2 worlds that the player can kind of be in. Mortal world and chaos world. There's going to be, obviously, love interests. But not just men. It's going to be, because I kind of want to play off the knowledge that I know. It's going to be like 75% mask, essentially, mask presenting. 25% femme. Or non-binary. Well, that's good. You know, let's actually math that out, divide it. 25% femme, and then like 25% non-bi. Like non-bi. There we go. Because guess what? I'm in fucking charge. I have Silas's credit card. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, boom. We have this love interests. There we go. That's kind of obviously then custom. Oh, if I could do this. Custom MC. Custom MC. I want this MC to be fully customizable in terms of race, skin, sexuality, gender. I don't give a fuck. It's just like, I want a custom MC. Fully customized, and even to the extent, I'll say this, even to the extent of the silly extremes, the silliest of extremes. You ever play like Dynasty fucking Warriors and you make your warrior like a Simpsons character? Yes, I want that kind of whimsy. I want that kind of bullshit. I want that. I want players to have fun however they wish. Whether it be making an MC that looks like them, making an MC that looks like their OC, making an MC that looks like Peter Griffin. I want that. I want bullshit where people can have fun with this MC. And this MC does not have to be binary in terms of guy or girl. It could be just like, what the fuck ever. It could be what the fuck ever. Because I think it's funnier when, like, you have all these, like, streamers or Let's Players or even, like, people trying the game for the first time being like, hey, I named my character Cucklord and I made him look like Bart Simpson. It's like, I love shit like that. I love comedy like that. I love when people get to have fun. It's funny. It's funny. So I love that. Something like that. Turn-based battle system. So because of yes, for this kind of game, I want there to be more than just otome. I want there more to be than to be just the dating stuff. I want more. I want more. I want things. I want interactivity. I want something that the players can do beyond just dating the love interest. I'm sorry. I find that having more incentives and having more gameplay styles allows players to have fun. So I want a turn-based battle system where you can take your time with it. So something similar to like Food Fantasy or fucking Honkai Star Rail. You have like essentially where it's like you have your love interests in the lineup and you are guiding them to fight for you. That's kind of what... So that way it also removes the need for multiple 10 million ways that the MC can fight, but allows you to see your love interest fight and kick ass. I want that. So love interest warriors. And then basically you are kind of this thing. So allow me to kind of explain the story of what I have in mind for this gacha game. I'm putting this out into the world. Again, I am putting this out into the world knowing that people are going to hear about this. But it's my idea, so fuck you. But it's my idea, so fuck you. And it is whimsical as shit. It's probably the most whimsy I've ever fucking done. The concept of the story. Let me go ahead and make a slide. Concept of the story. You are an avatar of primordial chaos. So, the concept is, as I wrote, you are an avatar of primordial chaos. So, there are no gods, there are no deities, there's no magic, there's no nothing like that. It is the source of all creation. You are the avatar of it. So, why are you an avatar of it? Is the plot. Primordial chaos has come to be. It doesn't have to explain why it's there, it just is. But primordial chaos decided to split into two. There is one side of primordial chaos that spawns creation, devotion, logic, math, science, magic. It is the primordial chaos of creation. And you are the avatar of this. You are the avatar of the primordial chaos half that incentivizes positivity, incentivizes creation of life. But then there's the other half. Primordial chaos's other half that gets split apart is destruction, anger, malice, feeding off of itself. It is where Lovecraftian monsters sleep. It is where true destruction is waking up from a dream. That is the two sides of this primordial chaos. And you are the avatar of the good side. So, I'm going to repeat that one more time. So, your avatar of chaos has split into two, and you are the figurehead of the good side. Yeah, it's fun. It's there. So that is where you are right now. That's why you can make whatever fucking MC you want. That's why you want your custom MC to do whatever the fuck you want. If you want primordial chaos to look like Garfield the cat, then that is what you were figuring at. But eventually, it is understanding that you are representative of the creation of this universe. So that's where you are. Now, again, I'm doing this again. I'm doing this on the fly, so that's why it makes no fucking sense. But keep up. Keep up. I want you all to keep up. Hold my hand. Keep up. There are two worlds that this game said. Oh, sorry. There's just $20 super chat from XA. Hi, I haven't caught you, Stephen. I hope you're doing good. I was watching your Sucker for Love videos before live pop up. Hi, thank you so much. Deeply appreciate it. But keep up. Not to you specifically. Thank you for the super chat. But everyone else, keep up. There are two worlds that this game will revolve in. There is the Chaos world, where you, as the avatar, reside. And the mortal world. So, you live up in essentially the atmosphere of the world. You live in the atmosphere of just the universe, essentially. I wouldn't say world. World's the wrong word to use. You live in this primordial area. Essentially where dreams kind of lie. Where where you feel like you're astral projecting or you feel like you're not in your body, things like that. You live there. So let me go ahead and just make it. You live there. The love interests live in the mortal world. They live in multiple worlds. They live in a world where fantasy exists. They live in a world where reality exists. They live in a world where science exists. They live in mortal realms. Realms. Thank you. Realms are better. There are two. Let's go realms. Realms. So there's the chaos realm. Realms is a better word. And the mortal realm. Like, write that down. Write that down. Write that down. So you live in the chaos realm, which is essentially the primordial plane, where it's like you have dominion, but that's also where the war is happening. So the reason why I'm organizing it this way is because I want the main story to stay away from the mortal realm. I want your interactions with the dating sims. I want your love interests. I want everything that surrounds the people that you care about to be separate from main story. So main story is literally you are fighting the other half of primordial chaos. That is the baseline. The baseline is that you are fighting the other side. And it's going to be a seemingly endless war. Because while you are strategizing, creating, etc., the other side is just purely animalistic and feral. As in, it wants to consume you whole. It wants to destroy everything you make. That is the war that is happening in this chaos realm. And you are in charge of your side. So, the biggest question is, like, so, there are two realms, so let me go ahead to the story. You are fighting primordial destruction. So, that is the concept, where you are not just a feckless MC who just kind of gets thrown around. No, you are literally in the middle of a war and you are leading that fucking war. You are leading it. So the big question is, how do you get fighters? How do you get fighters in the chaos realm, as it were? So, where do your fighters come from? Dreaming them into your realm. So, this is where things are going to be a little crazy, a little chaotic, as it were. So while you're fighting up in the chaos realm, the mortal realm, everyone's living very, ignorantly. They don't realize primordial chaos exists. They have their own religions, gods, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? They all live in their own worlds where Omegaverse is a thing, or, elf racism is a thing, or reality is a thing. Who fucking cares? They all live in that world, and that's all they're caring about. You, as a being of primordial chaos, go into their realm to meet some of these people. To essentially find your warriors, as it were, because you're the avatar of primordial fucking chaos. You can do that because you're kind of fucking cool. So you go to these mortal realms and you find your fighters, essentially. You find people who would be willing to fight for you. But you're not being like, hey, would you like to go fight a primordial war up in the place where you can't reach? No. You live out your life with them, getting the dating scenarios, the memories, and all that stuff, things that help you connect to that person who you want to join you. And they come up to the chaos realm in their dreams. Yeah, this again, keep up with me, hold my hand, keep up with me. I promise it makes sense. So fighters. So, of course, these are all mortals from the mortal realm, entering the chaos realm via dreaming. Kind of like a little bit like Astral Combat, but hold on. Okay. So, Explaining again. You, primordial avatar of chaos, go into these mortal worlds, and that is where you have your dating scenarios, where you're like, you're meeting the people that you want to join in your party, you meet the people you want to join into your little, like, astral world and all that stuff, and they enter into the chaos realm in their dreams. So like, let's pull an example really, really quick. So let's say I'm gonna pull an example here. Doctor. Let's say example. Doctor from human world. Yeah, the human world. Yeah. So you meet a doctor from the human. You lost me. No. Come back here. Hold my hand. Come back here. You meet a doctor from the human world. He's cool. He's like a really sweet guy. He overworks himself a lot, but hey, he's a doctor. He's really good. He's really good at his job. Like, you applaud him. Good job. You save people. Great, fantastic. When he enters the chaos realm, when entering chaos realm, he becomes a healer. So all of the things that he knows as a doctor become amplified in your world to help him be an actual fighter. He's not just coming in with his doctor lab coat and scalpel. No. He's coming in with like a real stylized fucking outfit, and his scalpel's a fucking like rapier or saber. And he's coming in with the knowledge he has morphed to be ready for battle, essentially. So when he enters, his powers and his abilities become exemplified. He's become a persona, essentially. He's a little persona, essentially. So, and then let's take another example. Let's take Valko, because Valko is not going to be in Love and Deep Space, so guess what? I get to use him. So let's do another example of Valko. So, Valko, obviously, like, Chairman Wolf Boy. So, Chaos, he would be, bulk up more. He would bulk up more. Yep, I can do English. More. Get bigger attacks. Etc. Again, it's just like things. Whatever they were in the mortal realm, it gets exemplified in the chaos realm. Because obviously you want them to survive. You want them to survive and fight back against the onslaught of the other primordial chaos. Yeah, like characters' roles in the mortal world affect how they are in the chaos realm. So, are you guys with me so far? Are you guys with me there? So, again, I would love magical girl, magical boy like transformations and things like that. Again, if I'm holding Silas's credit card, I get to fucking use it. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. So, things like, again, these are mortals that you find in their realms exemplified into their world, into your world. Would a mortal realm artist be like chaos realm? Like, it would be like a pictomancer, almost like. So an artist would be like a pictomancer in like the chaos realm, things like that. So, you with me so far? Are you with me so far? Am I confused? Am I confusing anyone? Because that's kind of what I want to kind of exemplify. So, that's where the fighters would come to be. So again, 2 gameplay scenarios where you have the dating scenarios where you are meeting these mortals, you are meeting with them, living life with them, and they don't have to interact at all. Like, they can be from different worlds, so there's never, like, a concept of, like, oh, but what if they see both of us? I mean, maybe it could be in the future. I don't fucking know. But it explains why you could have a wolf boy. It explains why you can have elf, why you can have a doctor, why you can have a monster. Like, you have all of these possibilities in all of these realms, because the only realm that matters to you in reality is the chaos realm, and you're bringing mortals from the mortal realm to the chaos realm to help you fight primordial destruction. So your fighters, of course, come from these different mortal realms, and they learn of each other in chaos realm, but it's more of just they understand that this is a dream, and this is them helping through a dream. They don't necessarily fully believe it's real. They don't have to believe it's real. All they know is that they're there. And so do you really question what you're doing in a dream when you're in a dream? No, not necessarily. So these mortals are not going to question why they're suddenly like 10 million times better at their job in a dream world. It's like, oh, it's a dream. Makes fucking sense. And technically, polyamory on a technical level, because they understand that they're all helping you. So yeah, there's kind of like that. And it's really fun. And it's really fun for like fans to be able to fill in the blanks. If fans want to be like, oh, but what if they all meet each other and then they all suddenly fuck in the Chaos Realm? Guess what? Have fun. They're all in the Chaos Realm. Who fucking cares? They're all gonna be there. Have fun. So if they're separated in the mortal world, they get to fuck in the Chaos world. That's fantastic if a fan wants to be able to do that, because fans are literally the lifeblood of anything. So there you go. But in their world, they are real, they are mortal, they live their lives, and you are part of their lives. And thus, okay. Let's go to the next slide. So, the cards, the gacha thing. So, here's where my creativity is going to go head-to-head combat with technical shit. So, let's keep in mind. I want you all to keep this in mind. Gacha systems are predatory. Let's be fucking frank here. Gacha systems are predatory by nature, literally by nature, because they prey on the idea that you will spend money to get something that's merely for entertainment or merely for a release of FOMO. That is what gacha is built on. With this business, however, this is why I'm keeping this in mind. If we are making, again, a gacha game, gacha game, right here, gacha game, then it must be profitable. It must be able to turn a profit. It must be able to have players be willing enough to spend in order to maintain the servers, the art, etc., etc., etc. How do you use gacha in a situation like this? Simply put, make it it's trying to find the word for it. Make it reasonable. Yeah, there we go. Make it reasonable. So, the way that gachas would be working in this scenario is that it's not going to be game breaking. The game, like the things that you pull in this gacha, basically the memories and the dating scenarios that you pull in this gacha, it must be reasonable and optional. It can't be game breaking. So you can't just be like, oh, this character is only powerful if you do this banner and you spend this amount of money for this banner. That's not reasonable. What is reasonable are like cosmetics or extras, like extra little banners where that doesn't affect your fighting gameplay. It doesn't affect the other gameplays that you want to affect. Because if you look at any sort of dating scenario, dating sim gacha, they're not, a lot of casual players don't give a fuck about the battle system and all that stuff. They just click auto and they pray that it works. So it's you have to make the gacha system appealing so that free-to-play players don't feel like they're getting left behind, but there is incentive to put in order to support the game. So yeah, no energy system. I don't believe in, I don't like the energy system. That's just me. But we have to balance reasonable expectation versus understandable costs. And this again is where my creativity is going to butt heads with someone who's like more managerial, technical, systematic, whatever. But that's the key thing here, is to figure out where the balance lies, where you have free-to-play players who don't feel left behind, but you have those who put money in feel like their money is going somewhere, and feeling like everyone's involvement in this is what keeps the game alive. So, with cards, this is what I think. Cards should be the extra stories. Obviously, I think everyone should be able to have access to the love interests that are available in the game. But the extra stuff, like the dates, the specific scenarios, those should be gacha worthy because they won't affect the battle system too hard and it won't break the battle system, but it will incentivize being like, if there's a specific character you want to have more interactions with, this is where you can pull. This is where you can start pulling to see if you can go into their memory and go into their life and things like that and obtain those dating scenarios, essentially. And it would be twofold. Essentially, you can... in an ideal world, it would be twofold. Either one, you pay a certain price to get it outright 100%, or you pay a smaller price, but you gacha it out. Basically, you gacha it out versus the system. Things like that. Can you romance without the gacha? Yes. But I would think more of just kind of like you get the baseline romance without the gacha. Like the full baseline romance of like, you met them, you have a connection with them, they can enter your world. That is what should be free. But the real big side content of just kind of like, what specific things do you do with them? Like, do you go on this adventure with them? Do you go through this like big moment with them, etc.? Those would be the banners and the gachas where you get to experience more with the characters you like. But it's, again, we're trying to continue the balance of the game must be valuable to where people can be incentivized to put in. So again, it would have to be that this is more of a negotiation between me and whoever would be technically programming the thing, but it'd be kind of like that. Story mode is locked? No, story mode is not locked. So let's pulling another thing. So what is the main story? You fight primordial destruction. You fight primordial destruction. That's the key right there. So you go to Mortal Realm and meet your potential fighters. Obviously, you have these moments where like you meet them, you get close to them, you do all this XYZ stuff with them, but end goal, they join your fighters in Chaos Realm. That's the thing. The main campaign is literally you are fighting primordial destruction, and your strategy is to take mortals from the mortal realm to join you in Chaos Realm while they sleep to fight primordial destruction. Now, again, this is also to cater to the asexuals out there. So I do recognize that some games, there are some people who just don't give a fuck. They just don't care, essentially, about the romance stuff. And that's not their primary goal. And that's completely A-okay valid 100%. This satisfies that to where you don't have to be romantic with your potential fighter to get them into your realm. You don't have to be. That's not their goal. Not the primordial goal. Yeah, that's not the primordial goal. Would there be a way for free-to-play players to earn gacha pulls without spending? Absolutely. There would be ways to farm the currency, whatever that may be. But moving from that, just real quick to main story to understand what's going on. Your main story is to get fighters to fight for you. These fighters don't have to fall in love with you. You don't have to fall in love with them. But bottom line, regardless of how you feel about the fighter, they are there to help. They are there to help you fight primordial destruction. Romance is optional. So that is why, in my opinion, the romance is where the gacha needs to come in. It's not trying to boost totally the battle mechanics, but it does help a little bit, but not to a degree where it's just kind of like, oh, I can't beat top line content if I don't romance these characters. No, I don't ever want it to be like that. I want it to be where the romance is optional and the banners themselves are giving you the experience to get closer to your fighters in that way, but you can still just do the main game without it being a detriment. If you are like asexual, like relationship averse, etc., or if you just want to ship them together. If you don't feel like shipping yourselves with them and you just want to ship them together, there you go. You don't have to be the romantic target there. So, but that's why the romance needs to be the gacha. So, of course, make it reasonable. Then, of course, make it possible for free to play players. Things like that. How would romance levels be measured if the player goes to the optional romance? It would be based on how many cards you have of that character, and it would be leveling up like where they have more interactions with you specifically. Because when you think romance in a romance game, you don't think, oh, I just say hi to them once in a blue moon and they're still there. Like, no. The more you interact with them, the more intense that your love is for them, the more that you have these moments where you join their banners, where you grab their memories, you're in their life more, then you can have more of these moments and they can talk to you more intimately than they would like the other fighters or things like that. They would be understanding of your relationship that way. So it doesn't necessarily help to a big degree in the fighting scenario, but it does recognize that if you join those banners, if you get the cards, whatever they may be called and that stuff, then you're going to have more intimate stuff with them, which is where, like, again, I think of like lads, where like if you collect more of their cards, you get like little audio clips, or you get the dating scenarios, you get those things like that. Again, like, this is not organized by any means of the word. I'm literally just coming in to just kind of write things down visually to understand what's happening. But yeah, is destruction faceless? Yes. I would like destruction to be totally and utterly faceless because it doesn't care. It has no thought of creation. It needs no thought of creation. All it cares about is destruction. So literally think of it just like a big black hole, like a vast emptiness that just consumes. That's all it is. And that's what you're fighting, and that's where you're trying to make sure that, because if primordial destruction wins, everything dies. Everyone dies. Everyone dies. Yeah. So let's go back to those fighters real quick. Let me just come back to this really quickly. So fighters. So of course we're gonna have 3 types. We're gonna have warrior types, warrior tanks. Yeah, your warrior tank types. Then these are heavy hitters, combat oriented, can take a punch. Then of course you have your healers, mages. Then you have basically magic users, support, little squishy, a little squishier. And then you have your DPSs, essentially. These are your major damage dealers. They balanced between warrior and healer, things like that. I will need you to keep holding my hand. Okay. There's gonna be sort of have characters want destruction to win, so you have antagonists. Essentially, things like that. But yeah, so basically we have 3 types and all that stuff. Hold on. We're not talking about voice acting right now. Voice acting is one of the last things I want to think about right now. Hold on. Back up. Put the voice acting on the shelf. Hold on. So of course you have your 3 types. You have your warriors, your healers, and your DPSs. Yes, I use that from Final Fantasy XIV. No, I don't care. It's a usual balance system in every single game, including D&D. So you have your heavy hitters, who are usually the ones who help take a punch, the ones who usually do the provoking, the ones who keep the attention of the enemy. You have your healers, who are the big supporters, the buffers, etc., etc. Then you have your DPSs, who are the ones, the damage dealers. So you have those, and you can basically maneuver as many of them as around as you can. So let's go ahead and talk about combat. Because obviously the main part of the story is the combat. You're fighting primordial destruction. There has to be combat. What am I holding? My hand, Katie! My hand! You're holding my hand! So it is turn-based combat. So think Like, again, Final Fantasy games, Honkai Star Rail, Persona, you have turn-based combat where you select your party and they go out fighting. It's a 3-member party. I want it to be a 3-member party because I don't want people to be overwhelmed by, like, all of the different options and all this stuff and try to figure out, like, the system. You can have multiple parties, but it's 3. You have your 3-member party. Can primarily take your character that fall and, like, evil, like, just fan of evil copy. Hold on. We're going to focus on combat for a bit. So you have a 3-member party. So you can balance them out. You can have 3 tanks. You can have 3 healers. You can have 3 DPSs. Like, however you want to balance your 3 party members. So let's go maybe 4 if unbalanced. Let's go that way. And essentially it is turn-based style where you get to choose your action first and then everything happens at once. So it's going to be, again, if you've played Honkai Star Rail, if you played Persona, if you played Final Fantasy, if you played Deltarune, where it's just like you choose your actions and then it just goes. And it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. And that's how the combat is. Because I want, in the main scenario, to have like gauntlets. I want you to have towers. I want you to be able to run parties against primordial destruction to see if you can survive with your warriors, obviously. And that's why I call them fighters. So it gives way to gauntlets, towers, events, story beats, etc. Where it gives way for like the writers, whether it be me or anyone I hire on, to kind of like work out like different events and scenarios where you have to, where primordial destruction is coming at you again, and you're like, okay, let's go. Let's bring in my party together and let's go. Can MC fill a role? We're just I want this to be just a commander. So you as primordial avatar have no sway in this fight. That's why you're calling upon fighters to fight for you. You yourself cannot enter in and fight a destruction being. Because if it was just the 2 of you, it would literally be an endless, like, creation and destruction battle. Think Sailor Moon versus Chaos. That kind of a scenario. Things like that where it's uncanny. So you use your party to fight. Now, upon defeat, obviously there is a clear defeat scenario. Whereas, like, you get defeated, but you run it back, essentially, because there is no game where you game over in a gacha game. Sorry. But things like that. Will mental sanity bar play a part in combat characters mentally fighting the chaos realm? I want to say yes, but I think that would be a little too complicated. I think it would be a little too complicated to add a mental gauge, because again, if they affects your goal is to not let it affect the real world, so you're letting it only affect the chaos realm. So it's one of those things where they are there, but they wake up if they die. They wake up if they fail. So rather than in that failure scenario, it's actually really good. If a fighter falls, they wake up safe. Yeah, they wake up safe. But they have to be called upon another night. So cannot be called until refresh or reset. Things like that. Where it's just there's no worrying if the character will die in reality, because they're still like in a dreamlike state in Chaos World. So I want to remove that idea where it's just like, oh my god, my character is gonna die. Oh no. Like, no, relax, they're just gonna wake up. They're gonna wake up, but you just can't call them back for a bit. They're fine. They just had like a little bit of a nightmare. It's okay. Do you ever wake up from a nightmare? You piss your pants a little bit in the bed? That's kind of what happens to them, where they kind of pee a little. That's all it is. They gotta pee a little. So I never want it to be where like they suddenly have a heart attack if they fail in the Chaos Realm. No, I never want that idea, because it ruins the fact that you're trying to protect them in mortal realm in that like that. There's actually one permadeath gacha game called Wizardry Variants Stephanie with also horror game gacha, so yes, but they get a paralysis, yeah, they get a sleep paralysis demon for a little bit. it's like, again, they're waking up from a dream. With the fighters interact with each other, combat was, yeah. So basically, depending on if they have a good rapport with each other or if they have really good help with each other, it could be where there should be like, good job, and they wouldn't necessarily know each other's names, where it's like, good job, thanks for the help. They have that kind of rapport, essentially, where they support each other and they know that they're helping you out and they're fighting this deep, dark enemy. And so they're going to have that rapport and interact combat-wise. And if I have Silas's credit card, they have enough dialogue to where they get to know one another in this realm pre-fight or pre-combat, to where like you can have, like, say for example, the Valko learn the name of the doctor and they be like, hey, good to see you and all that stuff, glad to work with you again, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, the shipping, those who wish to ship the romance options with each other, there you go, there's your little like doorway to be like, they were in a frame once together, there you go, you can ship them, have fun with that. Haven't many cut of the real stuff waking up with cold sweat, yeah, a little bit like that. And of course they'll always call out to you, the MC, for like their abilities and their powers and all that stuff, because you're the one that brought them there. You are primordial chaos avatar. You're the one who gives them that ability. So they'll, like, for example, instead of calling out to instead of calling out to God or calling out to they'll call out to you, to say, hey, give me strength, things like that. Could you do combo attacks? I would love to be able to do combo attacks. I would love to be able to have great synchronizations between the characters if possible. If we have two characters who came from the same world, they can have a combo attack. Or if you have two very opposite characters who kind of get to know each other and something kind of works out, there you go. Something like Fire Emblem Fates, where you're only there as an advisor, essentially. And then they were roommates. Will they ever live there as a separate world, not just a dream? I think not. In the longevity of this game, I don't believe it'd be a good idea for any of the love interests to realize that there's a separate world. There could be like a love interest that believes in conspiracy theory and tries to prove that it exists. And like when they go in, they're like, I knew this place exists. But it's never like hinted at, like it's confirmed with them. It's always they're just dreaming about it and they have no actual proof of it happening. So yeah. Party confronts primordial chosen champion. It's just a little rabbit. But things like that. So yeah, you have all that going, and then romance is optional, and of course we're gonna have to talk about like the different mortal worlds that we want. Obviously, we want some sort of realistic human world like Earth, but not Earth. Earth, but not Earth, because fuck it. And then of course you have your fantasy realm, and then of course you have your demon, angel realms, and then you have like your sci-fi realms, and then you can have like, how many fucking realms are there? It's like you can have monster realms, you can have all the realms. There you go. Again, the mortal plane is where anything could possibly exist, and that's where they come in. Would any of the love interests be a different gender in the dream world, and if that's how they feel? Yeah, I don't see why not. Like, if you have a love interest that turns out to be like a transgender character who's just body modding or hasn't come out yet, they enter the chaos world, they are in the body that they wish to be. So it gives writers of these love interests, myself included, the body ability to really have fun with these characters and to really have fun with the things that they're going through in the mortal realm, the things that they are connecting with the MC about, and what they do when they enter this space, because it is a free space. The chaos realm is a free space to where they could essentially be who they want to be. But yeah. So, can one of the characters be straight up monster folk? I was thinking that, yeah, because we gotta please the monster fuckers too. Can we date NPCs? Probably not in the sense that you think. Again, with love interests and NPCs, it's always like a balance where you kind of have to maintain and figure out whether or not you want to, like, who you're introducing as an NPC versus who you're introducing as a love interest. Should the game be successful in that regard, then sure, I don't see the reason why not. NPCs could become love interests, who knows. But if they're love interests, those are the main focuses, and NPCs are usually supporting characters. unless they get a large amount of support to become love interests in that regard. Would different eras of time be something you play with? Hell yeah! Time is a soup. Any era is optional. Is open. Like time is a soup. Any era is open. So you can get love interests from like the 1920s, 30s. Like you can get it from like medieval fantasy. You can get it from the future 3000. You can get it from like all that stuff. So you can, time is soup. So there you go. But I want it to be where like if we do make this game, the love interests will be fully realized and fully within the bounds of their environment as well as the chaos realm. So they're going to be understanding that once they enter this dream, they recognize it as a dream. They recognize it as something that's not real. They realize it's something that this is a place where they can really let loose and not fear of hurting someone, of like doing anything malicious, where if they have anger issues, if a character has anger issues in their storyline, this is where they can blow it off. If someone has confidence issues, this is where they can build their confidence. This realm is helpful to that degree of allowing the love interests to express out. And then in their world, you can see when you connect with them, whether it be friendly, romantic, whatever, you see them grow and you see them better themselves over time. But it's not a detriment to the main story if you don't necessarily help them 100% of the time. So, like, I see a god in a dream, they tell you to fight destruction. It's just like, why not? Fuck it, it's a dream. Who fucking cares? I have a gigantic fucking sword. I'm a swing. Like, if you were in a dream and a really hot person told you to go kill the god of destruction and hands you an ultra-powerful weapon, are you going to say no? Are you gonna say no? Realistically, I'll say yes. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to fucking fight the darkness because I'm going to listen to the hot person. So, there you go. Will they recognize you from the dreams when you meet them in their world? That's where I'm kind of like trying to figure out the balance of there. Because again, two different worlds, two understandings of what's happening. You are trying to separate both, but you are also trying to make sure that the mortal is incentivized to fight for you in that regard. So it could be where they recognize you, but everyone sees you differently when they enter the space. So the chaos world visually reflects what you see because you're the player. You are literally the one doing all of this. You are the avatar. But in their eyes, they may be seeing like all of these characters in their respective environments, where you see like the doctor having these bigger forms, but it's more indicative of something that they can mentally understand, where it's just kind of like they are in a battle zone or they are in some sort of fight or things that they recognize as a fight. They recognize that this is not them just doing a surgery or anything like that, or closing a cashier or what the fuck ever. They recognize that there is a higher level, but it's not breaking their immersion of like, oh my god, vampires exist, or oh my god, why is the guy with a 1920s Brooklyn accent talking to me? It's just like, it's not mentally breaking there. Let's see. How many love interests will there be if some dating gachas have 4 to 7 characters? With the multiverse, you have a lot of options. For now, we would basically, we start with 4. Basically, we start with 4 to see how successful it is. So, obviously, we're going to have warrior, like a warrior type. We're going to have healer type. We're going to have a DPS type. And then we'll have a wild card that we figure out during production and development. Things like that. Best boobily into the character's dream. Hey, Hanson, would you mind killing Satan for me? Essentially. Will love interest clash you try running more with them? No, I want to avoid that. Which is why, like, when you meet them, they're from different realms. So they don't never fight, and they all realize when they're in the chaos realm that they're fighting for the same cause. So, yeah. Would the fighters ever die and get reincarnated? No. We already established this. If they have combat, if they fall in combat, they wake up. If they fall in combat, they wake up. They are in a dream state. They do not have a heart attack. They do not die in reality. This is not game over. They fail and fall and hit 0 hit points in Chaos Realm. They wake up. We've established this. So there you go. Will the love interest interact between each other? Yeah, when they're in the chaos space, they'll interact with each other and they'll start meeting each other. They won't go so far as to like develop relationships hardcore in that space, that's for the fandom to decide. So I am essentially giving the they were in the same frame excuse when it comes to them interacting in the Chaos world. They were in the same frame together. Have fun, shippers. Have fun, fandom. That is y'all's call to ship them if you want. But in terms of making it as neutral as possible for everyone and making it not a hassle for the writers to constantly just update and write and all that stuff, it is they are in the same plane and they interact, meeting each other, knowing they have the same goal. So whether or not you see them saying hi to each other as a good thing or a bad thing is totally headcanon. So yeah, it's totally up to y'all. But yeah, for the beginning of this development, we would start with 4 love interests. I would want one non-binary, 1 female, and then 2 men. So because that's kind of the balance I want to do. I recognize that it could be more quote balanced down the line, but I have more experience otome writing, and I see more success when it comes to this style of game if there's more masculine male characters than there are female characters. So in terms of that balance, we have 2 men, 1 non-binary, 1 female. Do you have an age rating in mind? Mature. Absolutely mature. Like, I'm not gonna fucking play games. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's rated teen for everyone. No, mature. You have to have the brain larger than college in order to fucking play this game. So please understand, I don't want kids playing this game. I am gonna be rated M for mature. Can there be different themes, enemies to lovers, different kind of connections with the love interest to you? Yes, absolutely. We would have, again, if we can add more successful, absolutely. But again, with different themes, each love interest would have a different storyline. It's not going to be, oh, I just met you, stranger, I'm going to fall in love with you. It is, you're entering their world, their space, and you are living their life. Whether it be you are the enemy that they have to confront, you are their best friend trying to support them, you are the arranged marriage, you have one bed. The possibilities are endless in that regard, where each character is going to have a very solo-centered story that doesn't revolve around everyone else, where it's just you and the love interest. So yeah. Things like that. Yeah, so each love interest, it could be a trope, there could be similarities, there could be similar styles and all that stuff, but again, each love interest will have a solo experience where that doesn't require the other love interests. And again, keeping it as neutral as possible when they do meet in Chaos Realm, where they're not clashing with each other. Does that make sense? So obviously then, of course, like, more over time, and then success, obviously. And so, yeah, that's kind of the thing. Would this be the male gaze, female gaze, or all the above? That's why, as Primordial Chaos, you get to choose your avatar. You're not forced to be femme, mask, whatever. You are literally Primordial Chaos. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You could be a man in one realm and a woman in another realm, and you can choose that because you're fucking Primordial Chaos. Fuck it, why not? Chaos reigns. For the meme to be a character who's being there the entire time, but it doesn't get super boss. Again, that's down the line. Again, this is whimsical thinking. This is me, like, developing the game idea so that way Storyteller can shut the fuck up and I can get back to work. Because I was inspired because of the cancellation of Valko and things like that. So again, let's go over what we've discussed. Let's go it over so that way everyone gets back on the same page, and anyone who's watching the VOD after this being like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, great. So, requirements of this gacha game that I have in my head. There are 2 worlds, the mortal world and the chaos world. These are realms. We're changing it, let me just change them to realms. You have your love interests, obviously, over time. The more successful there is, the more love interests that you're going to be able to have in your party, etc., etc. Think, again, like Nikkei, or think like, like a bunch of these other games where you have so many different waifus and so many different things, etc., etc. Where you'll have all these options to be able to have in your party, etc., etc. Custom MC, because you're fucking Primordial Chaos. Fuck genders. I can do what I want. If I want a penis today, I'm going to have a penis today. If I want a vagina, I'm going to have a vagina. If I want both, congratulations, I can do that. I'm Primordial Chaos. That's what I kind of want, again, to establish that the player can do whatever the fuck they want because I love chaos, and I love it when players go in and say, I'm Nut Blaster 3000, and I look like an alien from Alien Isolation. Like, I love custom crazy shit like that, because it makes it more fun for the player. And then, of course, turn-based battle system as part of the main story. So, concept of the story, again, you are an avatar of Primordial Chaos. Primordial Chaos itself has split into two parts. There's Primordial Creation and Primordial Destruction. And you are on the side of Primordial Creation. So, you live in the Chaos Realm, and you are fighting Primordial Destruction on the other side. You are fighting. There is a war between two sides. So, the story is, how are you going to beat Primordial Destruction? The answer is simple. You get fighters from the Mortal Realm to join you in a dreamlike state in the Chaos Realm. So, of course, your fighters are going to come from the Mortal Realm. So, you, as an avatar of Primordial Chaos, again, Primordial Chaos, you're going to say that 5 times fast. And it's going to be so fun to say if this ever comes to fruition. It's, you change your body to get into this mortal realm, and you insert yourselves into someone's life. Essentially, like, for example, let's pull out the Doctor again. You are one of his patients, and you get a liking to him, you get connected with him, you have a rapport, you meet each other outside of doctor visits, you have a relationship, etc., 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 etc. And eventually, you start becoming part of his dreams, where he wakes up, he goes to sleep, and wakes up in the Chaos Realm with higher abilities than it was in reality. So again, like a doctor, he would become a healer, he'd have armor based upon that, he would have his tools exemplified into weapons, etc., etc. For example, if you get Valko, because Valko, rest in peace, he would go to sleep, he would wake up in this Chaos Realm, he would be bulked up even more, have larger, bigger attacks, actually utilize a lot of his abilities inside, only more exemplified to a degree, to fight Primordial Destruction, etc., etc. That's the goal. So, let me go ahead. So, let me actually move this here. So, again, main story, you are fighting Primordial Destruction, you go to the Mortal Realm to meet your potential fighters, and they join you in the Chaos Realm to fight Destruction. That is the main story. That is it. That is where the separation of the real world and the Chaos world line. So, anything that happens in main story will not affect the love interests in reality. If they fall in battle in Chaos Realm, they wake up. They pee a little, they have a sleep paralysis demon, they had a nightmare, they wake up. They are not in any health danger. But the reason they are with you is because you influence them so much that they dream about being in your realm to help you fight. With it being mature, will there be spice? As much spice as Lads is right now, or as Nikke has right now, where it's not, like, explicit, but it is like, oh, they going bang bang, and it's going to be a fade out to black, like Seduce Me is. Something I'm familiar with. Yeah, with fighters, you're going to have your 3 types, which is basically warriors, healers, and DPSs. So your warriors and your tanks, basically the ones that are doing all the provoking. They're the ones who are trying to get as much of the attention from the enemy as possible. Your healers are going to be obviously your supports, your healers, etc., etc. They're a little bit squishier, but that's the point. They are literally there to be supports. Then you have your DPSs, who are the main damage dealers. You have the ones who are a little more like between warrior and healer in terms of squishiness, but they're the ones who do the major damage. But again, you don't want them attacking your DPSs, you want them attacking your tanks. Combat-wise, turn-based system, because I like turn-based games, and so if I'm making this game, I say turn-based, fuck you. So turn-based system, kind of like Persona, Final Fantasy, Honkai Star Rail, where it's like you are taking one turn at a time. You always start because I say so. You always start and you pick up your actions, and then basically action, 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 and then go, and then go, and then it just combat happens, constant flowing. There, you control it. Obviously, there'll be an auto mode for those who don't give a shit about the combat, but that's obviously in all turn-based games where there's an auto mode. Fantastic. So it gives a reason for like gauntlets, towers, events, story beats, where like it'll give a frame of combat where again, main story is you are fighting destruction, so you're going to be having to fight everything destruction throws at you. Now, of course, we need to recognize that there has to be a gacha system. Gacha must be profitable, but it cannot be predatory. It cannot be so detrimental to where free-to-play players feel like they're being left behind, but we cannot let those who pay in feel like their money is being squandered. So we have to find a balance and make it reasonable, not only to just farm for resources to be able to level up your fighters and like do all of the things you want to do, get into the banners and all that stuff, but it can't be at the detriment of those who are paying in to get what they want. So potential ideas would be like, if you pay a certain amount, you automatically get the card of a banner. Or the percentages and the pity system is better depending on how much money you put in, which is a smaller amount, but it does fall into the gacha system of percentage. Things like that. Any ways to farm for in-game service? Yeah, absolutely. There would be ways to farm, whether it be like doing the banners, doing the main story, doing like this mini side games that would be obviously part of the game, because obviously you don't just want combat and dating. There would be other things, for example, like little mini games where you can farm for like the currency needed for the gacha system and all that stuff for free and all that stuff. But again, this again is where me and technological managers would literally butt heads to figure out what's a good balance, because keep in mind, this game has to pay for itself. It can't just be everything is free. It cannot just be we give everything to the free-to-play players. It must be, hey, you need to have incentive to pay for something. You need to be incentivized to put in money for a banner or a poll or something to where the game can self-maintain without it just constantly being, we give everything for free. So that's the unfortunate balance that me as a creative versus another technical manager or a financial manager would have to butt heads about. What is going to reasonably cause players to actually pull out wallets to help for support and finance this game? Does that make sense? But obviously I would want a way to farm in-game currency, but it can't just be enough to where you get like 10 million polls for one banner. Like, no, it needs to be a reasonable, like you get 20 to 30 polls for a banner based off farming, things like that. Now, of course, the love interests, you're going to start with 4. You're going to have your warrior, your healer, DPS, and the wild card we can determine who, with me or whoever's writing it, etc., etc. More love interest over time, obviously, because keep in mind the party is a 3-party system. You obviously get 4. You can kind of arrange based off of the 4 that you're given. If the game is successful, great, we have more love interests, fantastic. You'll have the gambit of things to be able to choose. But there will be different mortal realms, such as like the realistic human world, fantasy realm, demon realm, sci-fi realm, monster realm, all the realms, and plus time is a soup, so any era can come into play. You can have steampunk, you can have Victorian, you can have all of these things, etc., etc. So yeah, it's just like, yeah. So, have I made sense thus far? Have I made things clear thus far? Does it seem like this is a thing where it's like it's reasonable to understand and a good stone point of the idea? Crystal clear? Yes. Okay. Okay. Now we must summon the void. Would you be able to buy certain items or outfits and unlock side quests connected to certain love interests and secrets? That would be an idea. Because obviously it's, again, let's go ahead and pull up a new slide. So, game itself. Obviously, it's going to have main story, and it's where the combat lies. So, main story is obviously going to be where the combat lies. Combat? Combat lies here. So, obviously, that is there. That is where the gameplay is of just, that's where your combat is. That's why you're collecting these fighters. That's why you're going on these storylines to meet these potential fighters and to bring them in to your world. That's kind of what's going on there. Then, of course, you have mortal life. I'm going to call it mortal life. So basically, it's your interactions story with the love interests. That's where your mortal life. That's basically, that's where that lies. So that's the more dating sim scenario, where it's like, that's where a lot of the story lies, in there. Because you don't need to explain much in the main story if your concept is, you're fighting primordial destruction. Okay, have fun. you're fighting primordial destruction. Go have fun. Then obviously, there would be ways to farm currency. Basically, these would be like mini games. And events, or you can have like grinds of some kind, missions, resource hunt, etc., things like that. You were gonna Demon Artie, this is not home on the stream just yet. This is my gacha game idea, so that way Storyteller can go to sleep. And then I can work on other things, including Home on the Strange, down the line. Down the line, Home on the Strange is only worked on stream. I'm not there yet. But yeah, this is me telling Storyteller to shut the fuck up. But yeah, so did in fact start on the Spite project. But yeah, so yeah, what would the set character number be at the start? Because I'm thinking on Nikkei versus Gacha, or this would be added to the game after. Again, that's me going up against the technological side of it, because we would obviously start with 4 that would be already in the story. But over time, with more success, with more interest in the game and all that stuff, we'd have more love interest available. Basically, you'd be opening up new mortal realms that you could enter in, things like that. How many in-game currencies for free-to-play for whales? So that's going to be like where the farm currency kind of balances out. Again, I'd have to fight a technical managerial financial person, because that is always going to be the problem as the developer. And I say this very lightly. Well, not very lightly. I say that very strongly. The game has to make money, and the game has to be more than just making enough to just survive. It needs to be profitable. And I say that as someone who's very minimalistic. I'm going to reiterate this for anyone who is like trying to figure out where I stand in terms of like this gacha system, pay to play, whales, whatever. I am a very minimal person. I don't require much. I want a roof over my head, food for my cats, maybe food for me and my husband, and maybe the occasional like nice treat once in a blue moon. Maybe a vacation would be nice once like every half a year. That would be great. That's all I want. That's all I want. I'm not looking to be a millionaire. I'm not looking to be a CEO. I'm not looking to be like a top brass, like, ho ho ho, look at all of these people feeding me money for a game. I never want to be like that. But I also understand that this game must be able to pay for itself and pay for updates. Pay for the continual survival of its servers, of its team, of its staff, of other things like that. It must be both. So the balance has to come from the idea of talking to a financier or talking to whoever would be managing the game to understand, okay, we're going to have ways to farm currency. We're going to have ways for free-to-play players to be able to be involved in the banners, in all the events, without feeling like they have to spend a fuck ton of money. But it also must be understandable that the incentive is for you to spend money. The incentive for you is to put your money in for the potential of the gacha for the banner, or put your money in for that cosmetic, or put your money in for something like that. So that way the game financially survives. That way the game financially continues on, as it were. So it's making sure that, and also with the profit of whatever this gacha game is, it's hiring more artists, hiring more writers, hiring programmers, maintaining the servers. So it has to be at a profit enough to continue updating and making the game better using that profit, if it makes sense. So yeah, it's like, gachas tend to be quite profitable. Yes and no, because it comes to the fact of if you misuse your gacha, people will stop paying. So I don't want it to ever be like the game is so obsessively ingrained into someone where they feel like they have to constantly spend. But at the same time, it's balancing the understanding that the players keep the game alive. But it's a very weird situation to be in. It's an extremely weird situation to be in. Because if you try and make a game easily accessible, free to play, all that stuff, you're going to have to answer to like shareholders, financiers, people who are putting money into the game to keep it to survive. And if they don't see a return, or if they don't see something that's beneficial or profitable to their end, it dies. Yeah, so it's like, it's a balance that you have to kind of maintain. And if this game ever comes to fruition, I can absolutely see a future where free-to-play players get mad over the gacha system, where they don't feel like it's fair and all that stuff. But coming from me, who has also been a free-to-play player, I do want to reiterate that if there is a gacha system, that it is for the longevity of the project, not for greed. It is for the way to keep the game alive and on the servers and constantly updating, and for me to be able to pay rent and be able to feed my family and maybe once or twice have a vacation for 3 to 4 days. That would really be nice. That would really be nice. I'm not here trying to like swindle anyone or become a millionaire. God forbid. If I ever come on this stream and be like, someone shoot me. But yeah, so it's like there is a future where that could be the case. But also there is a future where like this game gets, if a company approaches me and wants it and I work with them and they sell it and all that stuff, they may have a different plan for it than I would. So it's, again, these ideas are stuff that I am throwing down as my idea in spite of Valko unfortunately being canceled. I'm very passionate about when I get inspired. Storyteller is obnoxious when she gets inspired. So literally this is kind of my answer to like my post about making my own gacha game popping off, as it were. So again, it's, you have the game itself, you have the main story, the mortal life, and then you have and basically the gacha system, if I could spell, it would be called Dreaming of You. So basically that would be the gacha system, where you put in and you're trying to dream of a specific love interest and things like that. Yeah, artists gotta eat. Free finance frustration is necessary for any artistic endeavor, but there are right and wrong ways to do it. Yes, exactly. Mickey, stop holding my hand. Okay, fine, I'll stop holding your hand. I'm sorry. But yeah, gacha system we call Dreaming of You, where it's like you're dreaming of multiple things. Because while you are the primordial chaos of creation, you don't necessarily have full control over what you dream of. I mean, come on, chaos reigns. You think you can control chaos? Bitch, please. So Dreaming of You is you attempting to dream of your love interest and have those moments with them in their world. So while they dream coming to your world, you can essentially dream going to their world and having those moments and connection moments with them in their world. So yeah. Would there be an element system? I would love there to be an element system, but again, once we get down to combat down the line, when we get down to all of this stuff, that would be me discussing with the programmer what would be feasible and not too chaotic. Because what I don't want is for players to look at the combat, which is part of the main story, and go, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. There are some players that are automatically going to do that because they want the love, they want the dating scenarios, but I want generic gamers, like general players who are walking in, like learning what this game is about and seeing the combat and understanding simplicity. I don't want to throw a million fucking words of jargon on them. I don't want to throw like, hey, you need to know XYZ, you need to know this, that, and the other. You need to have a million degrees in order to figure out what the hell's going on. Simple solution. You hit the thing, you make it die. You heal yourself when you're injured. If they fall, they wake up. I wanted to keep it very fucking simple. So yeah. I would like it to be kind of like that scenario. So adding an element system, I would like that, but I want to make sure it's simple, no more than 3 or 4. No more than 3 or 4. Will these dreams be pulled as the cards? Yes, essentially these dreams will be pulled as cards. So in the gacha thing, so there's be dreams. Yeah. Let me go ahead and move things up around. So give yourself the main story, combat lies here, then of course your interactions, so dreams. Then of course you have your farming currency. This would be the dreams, and then you also have like outfits. This would be cosmetics, extras, and shoes. Extras and shoes. There you go, extras and shoes. But yeah. Always remember the model of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You're gonna hire a team? If I had the money. Again, this is me word vomiting my game idea. Like I did with Home on the Strange. Home on the Strange, I word vomited my idea, and now it's in development because, I mean, I've been working on it for like a couple years now, and when I come back officially in August, I will be working on Home on the Strange. That is my main focus. But this is me literally word vomiting my idea that I've had for a while because I got inspired by the cancellation of Valko from Love and Deep Space. So this is me word vomiting, and this is me going like, here's my idea. And then me putting it on the shelf going, here you go. Maybe I'll come back to you if I suddenly get like a windfall of money, or if a millionaire comes up to me like Silas and just hands me his credit card. Like things like that. Regarding combat, any auto option? Yes. I would love there to be an auto option for those who really cannot stand the combat or just do not have the time to look at the combat. I use the auto systems in games a lot, so I would love for there to be an auto combat system, etc., etc. And that's what the story theme would be about, fantasy or contemporary. Where is it? Where did I put it? Where did I put it? It's everywhere. It's everywhere and everything all at once. Because, again, you are chaos. You are the avatar of chaos creation. So you're timeless, essentially. You live in this vast space of non-time. So when you go to these mortal worlds, you can enter in at any point. Again, time is a soup. So you can enter in like 1920s Brooklyn. You can enter in like medieval fantasy Europe. You can enter in ancestral Asia, like, or just really cool like techno heavy Africa. Like I want there to be so many possibilities of love interests where it's not like you're never gonna have that one fan being like, well, it doesn't match the theme of the story. Shut the fuck up. The theme of the story is that you are a timeless chaos entity and you can literally pull love interest out of your ass. Like, you can pull from anywhere. Anyone will have the love interest that they potentially could want in this idea. It's like, there will be no such thing as, well, it doesn't fit my aesthetic. Bitch, then don't go there. Don't go there. Go somewhere else. Like, you're going to have a diversity melting pot of, like, different beings, whether it be furries or anthropomorphic beings. You're gonna have your monsters. You're gonna have your elves, your demons, your angels, your humans, cyber, like, robots and shit. It is there. Will there be other gods and entities? No. That's where I'm going to draw the line. So, in terms of religiousness, of religions and beliefs in this game, it'll be solely based in the mortal worlds, where, like, for example, let's pull out of thin air, shall we? You meet a priest, and he believes in a certain god, or whatever. In the Chaos Realm, that god does not exist. He calls upon you, not his god, to fight against primordial destruction. It's literally just that, where if there are religions, it'll be based in that mortal world, such as the fantasy realms having like different deities, the realistic human world having multiple different religions and races, the sci-fi realms being completely agnostic. Religions and gods and entities will live on the mortal plane, but in the chaos realm, you are the only entity worth praising other than the other primordial god of destruction. You are the only one. And I want that to be a very specific, like, really specific point. Because I don't want there to be like, oh, but you're not my god and all this stuff. Shut the fuck up. It's a video game. You're in a chaos world. You're here for me. Shut up. So, it's like the Eldritch Horror creature wants to find love a little bit. Will you do different banners for different realms, allow for more specific gacha pulling? Yeah. It'll be more specific gacha pulling, so whenever a banner comes up, this banner will be like the opening of a world. So you're gonna have like your fantasy realm, where you're gonna have love interests from this fantasy realm be available. Whether it be like, if you go to fantasy realm, you see like the elf, the dwarf, the gnome, the human, the things like that. Or if you go to the monster realm, you have like the vampire, the werewolf, like the Frankenstein, whatever. You're gonna have, these banners are specific to each realm, and you don't have to pull for them. Again, the goal is not to force you to pull for them. It is more of just, these are the love interests you're pulling from this world. And they may be warriors, healers, DPS, whatever. And then there may be some events where it's like really cute generic ones where certain characters from different worlds might band together. You may have like all the characters that have some sort of like dominant persona have a banner. Or you may have some that have a subservient persona kind of banner. The possibilities are endless where it's not everyone's generically in the soup. It is specifically a thing, all that stuff. where it's a different banner for each world or a different banner for each type, as it were. But yeah. Can we kiss the destruction god? No. He will eat you. The destruction god will eat you. Is this a lore thing to answer why there's so many different names for the player character? Thank you. Is this a lore thing to answer? Why are there so many different names for the player character? What do you mean? You name the character however you want. You can name your character however you wish. Because it is your MC. It could be you. It could be Nutcracker 5000. It could be Rita Repulsa. Like whatever you want, you can name them however you want because it's your MC, your avatar of chaos, your avatar of primordial chaos. So yeah. My mouth hurts. But yeah. So that is essentially the gacha game idea. So that storyteller can go to sleep after being told that Valko was cancelled from Love and Deep Space. Any questions? This is a very impromptu stream. This was very much a Michaela is going nuts and needs to get this off her chest so she can go work on other things that she needs to be working on, such as You Wish, and such as preparing for August. Things like that. It's like, that's a thing. Would we be able to make a different avatar save the main story and the more one? Yes, that you'd be able to make different avatars, as it were. It would be more like you get the same character creation, but you can blend it to match that world. In that regard, to where like you don't feel like you're suddenly this ethereal being walking around the mortal plane and like the realistic Earth world. And everyone's looking like, what the hell? But yeah. How's storyteller feeling? Exhausted. Do you plan to intimate companions like companion myths and lads in the combat system? Like I said, the combat system is a turn-based combat where you choose your fighters. You are not one of the fighters. You are the commander, essentially, telling them what to do. And so they are the ones. I just thought of that. Oh my god. Hello, hello, you're enemies. Hello, I didn't think about that. So this is chaos. Mutants. No, the chaos creations. Creations. Mitchell VO, don't know if you remember me from level. It was great meeting you. Hello, thank you so much for the 510 bits. I deeply appreciate it. So these would be like monstrous, non-humanoid beings. Different forms. All chaotic. So essentially, essentially what you're looking at is like nightmare fuel. If I can spell nightmare correctly, because I can spell nightmare fuel. So it's like these are essentially creations from the chaos of destruction. So again, it's one of those things where you look at them and you want to beat them up. I don't want there to ever be like, well, I know, and as a president of the Monster Fucker Club, and I understand that there will absolutely be that couple of players who bite their lip at the fucking enemies, who go, I could tap that with lube. Like, please, understand that's design purpose of these enemies. Thank you. I can't spell worth shit. But at least you know it's human, right? Heh. I want you to understand that these enemies are meant to be killable, fightable, and you don't want to be near them. We're obviously going to have one of those two people that are going to bite their lip, but the goal is, again, not to, like them. Maybe the others can be, maybe they can be element, maybe like Monica Witch is a little bit, but less specific. I want it to be like these are amorphic beings who have no true actionable faces, no actionable like discernments, other than maybe limbs for fighting. So they can't be smashable. I would like them not to be smashable. Ideally, I would not like them to be smashable. I live in reality where I know someone's gonna want to smash it anyway, and not in the way of violence. So, I want it to be where like these are essentially really truly enemies and beings of destruction, where the goal is to understand these are the enemy you must crush. To smash with a hammer. It'll hear me out, cakes of void. Essentially, it's gonna appear to hear me out, cakes of void. There's golems of void matter, like a little bit, yeah, golems of void matter, essentially. Are you gonna draw on different phobias for different designs of these enemies? Probably not. I don't want to draw from phobias because destruction doesn't give a shit about drawing from specific fears. They just are. So I want, again, every design that comes out of this game, I want it to be is just because. Chaos doesn't give a shit as to why these things exist. It doesn't give a shit about whether or not you're a man or a woman or a they or non-binary or intersex or whatever. It doesn't give a shit if these enemies are like based on your phobias or like creative things. These enemies are there. They just exist. And they are designed to destroy. They are designed to kill. They are designed for the sole purpose of being there to complete the goal of the primordial god of destruction, which is to destroy. They don't care. Would enemy designs be specific to region? I've thought about it, but in the Chaos Realm, I don't necessarily think so, unless, again, if I have Silas's credit card and I'm running away with Silas's credit card, maybe there could be a connection. But again, it's not to the basis of this god is choosing to design these things like it. It is creating pawns to throw at you to eventually overwhelm you and destroy you. Things like that, if that makes sense. Then you, however, have mortals to pull from. Your mortals, basically your fighters are all mortals and all that stuff who come from these mortal planes, come from these mortal realms, and are bringing with them their experiences and their skills, whether it be mundane to actually fighting skills to help you fight, essentially. I love how Katie's like spamming the hydrate redemption. But yeah, so again, if I have Silas's credit card, then maybe potentially. But the true goal of these enemies is truly to be pawns of destruction, faceless, uncaring, undiscerning, purposefully trying to destroy. That's it. They are a means to an end. That's the goal of the enemies. So yeah. What about dating with guys and girls? Animals? No. No. Again, these love interests would be my copyright or whoever's writing copyright. Basically, the game's copyright. So all the love interests in this game that would become your fighters, essentially, would essentially become original characters. I would not actually pull Valko as much as I want because that is already copyrighted to Infold and Paper Games. But it would be where I could pull from these ideas and me alongside the other writers, whoever writes for these love interests. Because obviously, me trying to write this alone, I'd go fucking nuts. But if I had other writers with me to be able to develop all the love interests, to develop all of this stuff, it would obviously be to each character would have their own real set storyline in the main story, where you meet them, obviously, and they join your side. And then the romance side, where you are having your dates with them, whether it be, again, pulling from Love and Deep Space, you're having your steamy moment, or you're having a moment of remembering an event, or like a private thing, like things that could potentially be pulled into a banner for an event, where you have a dateable moment with them. You have the credit card, buy the rights to Valko. There will always be room for a very good boy. But yeah, so, yeah. Any other questions? Holy God, I've spewed a lot. I've vomited a lot of ideas. And just again, just so you all know, these are all mine. These are all my ideas. So, before anyone's like, I'm gonna steal this idea. No, fuck you. My idea. Pay me. But yeah, so, 2D or 3D? I'd like 3D, but 2D seems more realistic to be able to keep up. Because 3D modeling is hella hard to maintain, and depending on the engine that I use or that the engine that the company uses, it would be about maintaining 3D versus 2D modeling. as well as being able to animate, etc., etc. Will there be a doomed ending if you fail off? Nope. It's a gacha game, and it would be a large multiplayer game, not multiplayer in the sense, but like online game where you are joining into a server and you're playing this game like just like any like Nikkei and Love Deep Space and Honkai, where there is no doomed ending. In fact, the goal would be no ending at all, because how do you defeat primordial chaos in true reality? You don't. It is a never-ending fight. But you're making sure that that side doesn't destroy your side. Did you make your VTuber models beautiful? My really, really good friend, Ember Red, made my art, and I rigged it. So yeah. Would the MC be able to fight as well? Nope. Again, fighters, the combat system, it is literally turn-based combat, 3 parties, 3 party members of your fighters. The fighters you pull into the Chaos Realm is who will be fighting. Why do you need a car engine to make a game? Mao? But yeah, so tragic romance is not there. There could be. Again, that's a trope that a love interest could have in their main story. I'm not saying that it has to all be positive. I'm not saying that all of the romances have to be positive. But just main story wise, there is no failure. But in the romances, you could have the gambit of like really dark stories, really tragic stories, really funny stories. You can have all of these different scenarios, but that's why it's so important that these mortals from the mortal realm, your fighters, are all individualized, so that way they can all be developed properly, and the main reason that they're in the chaos world is to help you. So yeah. Any system of affinity for love interest? Yes. So basically, there would be affinity points. They won't help in combat, but they will help like have them have more interactions with you. If you want to meet up with them, they'll be able to, instead of like calling you, hey, they say like my love, my darling. They'll give you pet names. You can have pet names and all that stuff, etc., etc. I have a bit of a harem setup. I do like the idea of them interacting with each other. Yeah, but again, like with them meeting up in the chaos realm, it's not to the degree of them like having a relationship beyond just meeting each other and fighting together, because I want those who are like asexual or sex-averse or don't give a shit about the romance or don't give a shit about relationships to just see the game as it is. But it gives enough bait and hook for fan shippers and fandoms to be like, oh, I can either ship them with me or I can ship them together, and it gives them they're in the same frame together excuse that they can ship them together if they want. So that's where the fandom comes in, and that's what they can feed in their loves and their wants to these characters. Let's see. More angst, Papa. Me wants more angst. Will there be possible skins for the characters? I would love that. Again, if I grab their credit card. But yeah, that would be ideally part of the gacha system. Which would be... Where did I put the gacha system? Where did I put it? Where the fuck did it go? Oh my god. There it is. But yeah, it would be part of the gacha system where you can get like your cosmetics, you can get all different extra stuff, etc., etc. That would be part of the gacha system. What is this story? Could be over the term. Yeah, exactly. Is there plans for interactive play outside of gameplay? Again, it would be the game itself would have your main story, which is where your combat is. Again, the purpose of this game. The mortal life, where you have your dating scenarios, where you live in the mortal realms with all of your fighters. Farming currency, where you have your mini games, your grinds of some kind, whether it be like you play a bunch of mini games to grind for the currency, or you have test realms where you're testing your party to see how well they build together in like a scenario. Then of course you have your gacha system, which is like the dreams, cosmetics, and all that stuff. Are you familiar with Fire? I want to put the characters together. Yes, but again, they would be fully based on the workload. Fully based on the workload. Why imagine one of the limits being a single parent? Let's see. So something like some form of creation from God's game. No, it's not good. So wait. What's it? What's this? Hold on. So, let me. Is there plans for interactive play outside of form of creation, friends? Then you're gonna have to explain that to me really quickly. Because I'm not sure what you necessarily mean. This is my boyfriend, and this is his boyfriend. I want to ship everyone in the gigantic polygon, and you can do that because every one of your warriors are going to meet in the Chaos Realm. There's going to be a hub world, obviously. There's going to be a large little hub world where all of your warriors kind of like get together, prepare for battle. They either like relax by the pool, like they relax by the pool area, or they prepare their weapons, they train, they relax, they eat, whatever. It's a big hub world essentially there, but you go out and you fight the oncoming hordes of destruction. But yeah. Will there be animated cutscenes? If I have Silas's credit card! It all based on money. It'll be all based on money. But yeah, all of this stuff here is the creative side of it. This is the creative side of me pulling this all together. Things like that. But I want to keep in mind, y'all. This idea is probably going to sit on the shelf for a bit. Because this stream is literally just me vomiting my ideas because of Valko's cancellation of how I would make a gacha game and what kind of gacha game I would like to make. And if a company goes, I want to be able to fund that, or I would like that idea, let's go ahead and hire Michaela and get this idea off the ground, or whatever the fuck ever. This is evidence of my creative idea and my creative, essentially, game document that I threw together willy-nilly. It's not an official game document, obviously, but it is a document of like my ideas of kind of like what I would like to do and how I'd like things organized. And then the financial stuff could come in later. Will the main story contain choices to be made to increase your affinity with your love interest? Yeah, I don't see why not. Because that way, again, asexuals have the choice to not necessarily indulge in the romance. But those who do can have their affinity go up with the romance. So, yeah. So, this is my evidence of my game idea. And again, I hate saying this, and I'm so sorry if this offends anyone, but I'm gonna say it anyway. My idea. Fuck you. This is my idea. If you want it, pay me. You must pay me. 2026 copyright. I've put it out into the world. It is my copyright. Because I know some motherfuckers are going to be like, well, I'm going to take this idea. I'm going to run with it. Fuck you. I will sue your ass into the ground. This is my evidence. What do you mean you don't have unlimited time and energy and resources in your other amazing projects, right? It's not like I have Home on the Strange I should be working on. It's not like I have an adult Otome CD that I should be working on. No, I totally have unlimited amounts of resources to be able to pay. No, it's our idea now. It's our idea now, comrade. Sigh. Is romance restricted to player interaction? If it means you have to actively pursue the romance, yes. So it's not like they're going to fall in love with you naturally. The way that affinity romance will work is that you have to actively pursue them by like being part of the gacha system, where it's just like you dream of them, whether it be free to play or not. You dream of them and have your dates and your romantic moments via the banners and via the cards and the dreams. So yeah. Oh, you gotta cover your logo. The piece was too. Oh wait, I have my logo up though. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Filters. Let's see. Filters. There. There's my banner right up. My logo right up top. Yeah. Is this how you usually write down ideas? Yes, actually. I literally vomit my ideas and I just let it go. I have a folder on my computer of just visual novel ideas for when I get back into making visual novels or whatever games I want to make. And it's just random nonsense. I'll open one up. I'll be like, what the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck was I writing down? Why did I write this down? And so, yeah, this is literally how I write my ideas. Straight up. Fan art allowed? I don't have any means of, like, a character design of anything like that. Sure, if you want to make your primordial chaos avatar a fan art, go for it. Do we want to have, like, what would the fuck? I just realized, what the fuck would we name this game? What would we name this game? What would we name this game? What would we name this game? We gotta name it something. Fuck, we gotta name it. We gotta name this game. Fucking name. So, the name of the game. There we go. The name of the game. Time Soup. It's like Time Soup. Chaos Reigns? I think Chaos Reigns works. Yes, I think Chaos Reigns works. There we go. Guys, we found the name. Chaos Reigns. Boom, 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 boom. That's the name. That's the title. So, Chaos Reigns. In a snowy font, like just like that. There we go. That'll be the name of the game. Chaos Reigns. There you go. Chaos Reigns. I'll leave it. I want to make a new OC. Ideas for colors and style. Check and answer to pink, pastel to hot. You have to do the. It has to be one color. It has to be like one pink, but it has to either between pastel pink or hot pink, and you cannot do like everything in between pastel pink and hot pink, and you cannot go outside of those realms. So there you go. Yeah. So Time Soup is a lovely name. So Chaos Reigns, the name of the game. Let's go Chaos Reigns for now. There you go. Do we have a hashtag? Let's do a hashtag, because why not? Because fuck it. If we're gonna make this game like marketable, so okay, let's do a marketing thing. Let's do a marketing thing. So let's marketing. So nope, that's not what I want. Delete. So marketing. Let's do a marketing thing. So marketing for Chaos Reigns. So let's do like a hashtag, because we can't do CR because that's literally Critical Role. So we have to think, Chaos, KSR? Maybe, or maybe maybe hashtag dream on, no. Like, Chaos, Rain, Gotcha, things like that. It's like something like that. There you go. Like something like that. Yeah, CR is also Cookie Run. You are correct. So Chaos, Rain, Gotcha. Like CHR, that would be another short one. So like CHR. KSR is also good. Yeah, something like that. So like marketing. And so of course, like marketing, you'd have like a lot of advertising. Advertising would be like similar to like custom MC, combat, show off, then of course love interests, multiple. There you go, like multiple. Especially if the MC is referred to the chaoser or chaoser. Oh yeah, chaos. Maybe those like tagline. We do like a tagline. Up. So tagline. May chaos reign. Or dreaming of you, something like that, because again there is a romantic element to it that kind of causes to all that stuff, but again we recognize non-romance here. Showcase great soundtrack. Oh yeah, we also got to do advertising soundtrack. Let's go. So there you go, like things like that. Lamau. CRG. So yeah, so we got a tagline like that. Dreaming of you. May chaos reign. How else would we like market the hell out of this? So obviously we'd have like campaigns, to be able to show off the gameplay, show off all those styles. See you in my dreams. Oh, I love that. Let's see. Chaotic Dreams is another tag. Ooh, that could be another tag, so Chaotic Dreams. But yeah, so things like that. So love that. So Chaos Reigns. I like this. Guys, I think we have a pretty good stone right here. We have a pretty good building stone that, hey, companies, if you're looking for someone to help you make a competitor to Love and Deep Space and all that stuff, I'm right here. Hi, my name is Michaela Laws. I am a professional writer. I've worked for game development before. I've made my own Otome games. I'm currently working on a dating sim. As a writer for the dating scenarios, you can hire me and have this idea from me with a negotiation purpose. So, negotiation-wise, I am more than willing to talk. Let's talk. But yeah. Oh my goodness. I've been yapping y'all's ears off. If voice acting is a showcase, oh yeah, so like voice actors yip yip. Like voice actors yip yip. Yip yip. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I can't even do it. But yeah, I would love to be able to have like a fantastic range of voice actors in it. Obviously each love interest would have their own like specialty and their own voice and all that stuff, and I would love to hold them as much as possible. They would have longevity with the characters, because it would be kind of weird if they change characters way through. So obviously there would be a cycle of just like, this is your character and this is your legacy with this character, that you maintain this character. Only replacing if there's like some sort of egregious neat reason or like death or things like that. So we get the VTubers on the phone. This is a genius. So like cool story moments and cutscenes. There you go. Comment for my skills writing voice acting. Sai is definitely gonna be in. If he auditions, if this game becomes a thing, and if he auditions, maybe. Depends. He still has to audition. I've never been like the person be like, I'm automatically gonna cast you. No, I'm never like that. Never like that. It is more, you must audition and you must be going up against the roster of other people I have in mind for this role. So yeah. If you need a project manager, maybe, yeah! For the title of the stream, I'm sure everyone's morning Valko like I am. Oh yeah, like I mean, we literally we made the basis of a gacha game because Storyteller would not shut the fuck up after she found out that Valko was being canceled from Love and Deep Space. So literally, our game is called Chaos Reigns. It's a fantastic game. We literally have a marketing strategy of like hashtags ready for Chaos Reigns. The advertising purposes, our tagline is literally make chaos reign or dreaming of you. So it's going to be one of those two or maybe both. I don't know. Could a game have multiple taglines? Fuck it. Why not start? It's literally, obviously we're going to have the requirements of this game to be like 2 worlds where there's going to be 2 different gameplay styles, your love interest, you're going to have a custom MC, turn-based battle system. Concept of the story is literally, you are an avatar of Primordial Chaos. Primordial Chaos is split in 2. You are the side of creation. You are fighting against destruction. It's going to be great. They have male MC with the games. Yes! The MC is creation! Like, requirements. Custom MC. Whatever you want. You could be handsome boy. You could be beautiful girl. You could be fantastic looking and non-binary. You could be Marge Simpson. I love customizations of the extreme where you get to play and have fun, where you get to love what you put in, whether it be you in the game, your OC in the game, fucking Pikachu in the game. Doesn't matter. Like, I love the idea of you making a custom MC that is literally the avatar of Primordial Chaos. You are a floating orb with the prettiest eyelashes. There you go. Again, concept, you are one of 2 avatars of Primordial Chaos. You are the Chaos of Creation. The other person, the Chaos of Destruction. They are literally non-formative. They just want to consume and destroy. You are fighting Primordial God of Chaos. Again, you go to the mortal realm in order to find potential fighters that'll go to sleep and dream and join you in the Chaos realm to fight Primordial Destruction. So that is literally the concept. Your fighters come from the mortal realm, and when they enter your realm via dreams, their skills from their worlds become exemplified to be what they use to fight. For example, if you have a doctor from the human world, they become a healer, and their scalpel becomes a blade, and their lab coat becomes a thing of armor. Valko, as an example that I'm not going to like insist that I use, etc., etc. If he comes into your world, he would bulk up a lot more, have bigger attacks with his metalizations, etc., etc. The game itself will be divided into multiple categories. Main story is where your combat's gonna lie, because obviously the point of the story is to fight destruction. Your mortal life is where you're gonna have your dreams, your sequences with the love interests, whether it be friends or romantic or whatever. You can farm currency with the minigames that happen, like the events, grinds, etc., etc. And of course, there's going to be a gacha system because we're making, as I said, a gacha game. So there's that, where you can have your dreams, which is like your dating scenarios, cosmetics, extras, etc., etc., etc. Fighters are obviously going to be divided into 3 types, which is like your warrior types, your healer types, and your DPS types. One's your provokers, one is your healer and supporter, and the other one is DPS. Because I just like simple. It seems, keep it simple, stupid. Combat is going to be turn-based because I like turn-based. My game, fuck off. where it's a three-member party, maybe 4 if it feels unbalanced. And basically, it is literally, you pick your actions, it goes. You can pick on auto. There'll be, this combat system gives way for potential gauntlets, towers, party builds, etc., story beats, etc. But if a character falls in battle, they do not die. They just wake up. They pee a little in bed. They have a sleep paralysis demon. They have a nightmare. They're fine. They're okay. They just wake up. So do not feel too bad if they fall in the game. They're fine. They're okay. They're not going to die of a heart attack. You're okay. Enemies, of course, come from the Chaos of Destruction, where they are formless, they are scary, they are just there, they exist, they're not meant to be fuckable, but I know someone's gonna want to fuck them anyway. But their design-wise is going to be, they are just there to do a job, and that is to fight you, to beat you until you can be destroyed. That is the goal of these enemy creatures. Obviously, the gacha thing is dreams. There's going to be a discussion of financial balancing to make sure that free-to-play players can be reasonable in getting the free stuff, but also feel incentivized to join in the pay-to-play stuff, where you are incentivized to join the banners, whether it be through grinding for currency in the game, or paying and using the gacha system, or potentially maybe even just buying the dream outright. That I would look into, like, how would pricing for a specific dream work out in favor, so it's not just everyone buying the dream outright, where it's not like, because the gacha system needs to be a gacha system for a reason. But if there is a way to buy the dream outright, what is the bar that must be hit price-wise to where it's not like everyone can pay for it, but not nobody can pay for it? Does that make sense? Love interests are going to come from, again, we're going to start with 4 at the beginning of this game development. If you hire me on and buy this idea off of me, we start with 4. You have your warrior, healer, DPS, and then you have one more wild card. That'll be based on whatever the writer who's writing it has inspiration for in mind. More over time, obviously, with the success, and it's not limited to one theme. You are a timeless, primordial chaos and avatar. You are primordial. You are timeless. You go anywhere. So these love interests can come from anywhere. They can be human. They can be elf. They can be demon. They can be angel. They can be robot. They can be monster. And at times a soup. They can be from 1920s Chicago. They can be from 1850s Texas. Etc. etc. Literally all of that. But yeah. So that is the current game dump that I have of this idea. Trademark Michaela. Would you consider making any leverages that are 2 people but in the same card? I don't know. It would be based on, like, again, if I work on this, if the writers feel inspired, if it feels like it's a good idea, etc., etc., etc. Some notes on the gacha: a fair percentage on rarity and guaranteed pity are nice to have. Yeah, so again, the system itself is definitely a more technical side. And so I would have to do a lot more research with a financier or someone who knows marketing and knows basically game producing in the gacha sense to what is fair, to what is a guaranteed fairness of pity and what is a guaranteed percentage. Because it does need to be where it's like there is a put in, but it can't be an automatic put out until like a certain threshold. But that threshold needs to be fair. It needs to be absolutely fair for those who cannot spend $10 million on a game. Is this a guaranteed system that then gets the price of buying the dream outright? What would you say you need to pay the worst case scenario to even the guarantee? Again, I would have to talk to the financier about it. It depends on like what we want the gacha currency to be like. 60 pulls for a guaranteed pulls. Yeah, I think like 50 to 60 pulls for a guaranteed pull is extremely fair. And I would say it's not like where, for example, like Lads has right now, where it's like 60 and it's a really high percentage for the one you want versus like multiple things for the one you don't want. I would say like no, 50, 60, and then you get what your target is. So every banner that happens, you get a target, and you can actually target the mortal that you want to pull from. And if you hit 60, you automatically get that one. No questions asked, no pity, like no like things like that that you get it guaranteed 100%. But 50 to 60 pulls up until that point, there is a chance until you get that. No 50-50. No, I think 50-50 is stupid. I think if you spend the money for 60 pulls, you should get the fucking card in 60 pulls. Are you able to switch targets after you get your target? Yeah, I think you should be able to switch targets after you get your target. Because I think, in all honesty, with gacha system, there should be a payout, and that payout should be guaranteed to what you want. It shouldn't be where, like, you're pulling, and then you get your pity, but it's a card you didn't want, or a love interest you didn't care for, or a love interest you didn't want. You just wasted your money. No, you spend X amount of money, you get the love interest you want. You get the warrior you want. So I think that's extremely fair. And I think even in that regard, the financier probably would talk to me about, like, whether or not it seems viable, whether or not it seems profitable to be able to do that, because at that point people would just pay for 60 pulls and then just do that. So basically the guarantee would be if you pay for the price of what 60 pulls would be, you automatically get the card, but you could also pull from the gacha system. What happens if you get the same card multiple times? That's, again, another thing I would have to develop into further if this was not just a game dump. So for me, right now this is a game idea dump, where we're establishing how to be able to work this out, what the game's content is going to be, what the promise is going to be, etc., etc., etc. Whether or not there's a leveling system, or whether or not there is a card upgrade system, I guess would affect the romance more so than the battle system, because I don't want the combat to be a broken system where you have to get a specific amount of cards in order to be the best at your game. But at the same time, I do recognize that there are min-maxers out there, and there are some people that will pay for cards in order to master their parties and to master their builds. So there is an understanding of, like, okay, do I make it to where the gacha system, the multiple cards, level up something in the combat system, not to a extensive degree, but to where it could be a boost beyond maximum. So basically, my thoughts is, you should be able to get maximum proficiency without the banners, but you can get more if you do the banners. So, but it should not be to a detrimental degree where it's like something is completely broken. It needs to be like, oh, you get maybe a 5% boost of damage, or like things like that. But yeah, so additional romance and cosmetic for dupes would be nice. Maybe, potentially, yeah. At this point, I want these characters to be a second round of polykinetic. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so in some games, multiple of a character give you upgrades to the character's abilities, a fragment of a pinup. Yeah, like more art pieces. Like if you get multiple, you get like a puzzle piece of a full art print or something like that of their character. And you can hang that up in like your hub world or things like that. Things like, again, more detail work that would be if this game was in full production. I am more than willing to go through developing this more, but keep in mind, all of this is going to go up on the shelf because I have 2 games already in production right now. I have Home on the Strange, which I'm going to get back to in August. Then I also have As You Wish, which is my NSFW Otome CD. But then I also have been working on Ruffle Season 3. So I'm working on multiple things at once. So this may come back down if I finish one early, or if I like want to try and work on it at the same time, or if like this seems like a possibility. If a company comes up to me and says, hey, please make this game, we'll give you some money, great. If a company comes down to me and says, hey, we're gonna give you X amount of money to develop this game, please make this game, I'm dropping everything to make this game, because that means someone has the hope and the confidence in me to be able to make this game happen. And then I'll be able to, basically my thing would be, I own the rights to this game, unless I renegotiate that out in contract. And I can stream my progress to you all, so that way you all can see what I'm doing and you can see my mental process on it, rather than just see me as the creator and be like, well, what's her thought process here? Like, no, here's my thought process. I haven't heard of As You Wish. Can you tell me more? It is a current thing that I am developing. I'm trying to find it. Is it? No. Wait. No. No? No? Wait, hold on. As You Wish is a current... I have no idea. Hold on. Give me a hot second. I'm going to figure this out. Hold on. Just really quickly, because that is something I'm actively developing. So I might as well talk about it like really quickly. Yeah, there we go. That works. All right, boom. So yeah, As You Wish is a current NSOW Otome CD that I'm making, where it's literally it's a male to female, audio drama Otome ASMR akin to Japanese Otome CDs, where you are the heiress of a very very nice successful company, and you're in love with your servant, and your servant one night gets called to your room and does things with you, adult things. So yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that's that one. But then again, this is kind of where I lie. This is kind of like where I'm here. Silent Whispers add Miss Laws to the developer team, I beg. A lot of people are saying that Silent Whispers should hire me, but I'm like, no, wait, stop. Hold on, wait. Silent Whispers is already in development. Hold on. But yeah, so I mean, again, companies, I'm more than willing to negotiate about my current idea for your gacha. You can be a competitor to Lads and Nikki and all of these other games with this idea. As you can see, there are people in this chat and people in this stream who are eager to see this come to life. Why not? It seems like this is very balanced and very fan-forward and very desired. So again, I'm more than willing to talk and negotiate through all of this. So feel free. I'll literally drop everything if this gets funded. I'll drop everything if this gets funded, because that means people are confident in this one. So yeah. All right. Whew. Holy shiza! I've been talking for 2 hours. Oh my god. Storyteller is tired. Storyteller is tired. But yeah. So that is currently where now I can finally work without this bugging my head for the entire day. But yeah, again, this is gonna go on the shelf unless someone contacts me about this. To make this happen. It'd be great. But I will say this. If a shareholder or a company does want to fund this, want to help with this idea, I am going to be very opinionated. I'm not just going to hand this over freely. I am not just going to let anyone change this willy-nilly. I'm not going to accept anyone going, well, I'm putting money into this, so XYZ. No, these are my ideas. If you have confidence in these ideas and if you can trust me with this, I will help bring it to fruition. Please trust me from beginning to end. This is not a place where I want a shareholder who feels like they can just put money in and then take it away whenever they feel like it. No, you are in this from beginning to end. I want to show you that this is an idea that can succeed with the right crowd, with the right people, and really be a highlight of someone in also competitiveness to other gacha games that are out there. This can be successful to an ethic degree and be able to be open enough for players while still being profitable and still being business forward and making the money. Twirls mustache here, I guess. All I ask is that my ideas are respected, and that if I could keep a roof over my head, food on the table, my cat, my husband and I fed, maybe my family too, the rest of my family too, that would be nice, and maybe a 2 to 3 day vacation once every half year, that'd be great. That's all I want. That's all I legitimately want in my life. That's all I want. Okay. I think I'm ready for this to go on the shelf. So, alright. I don't think I can really talk about much about this now. Because I think I've said literally all I need to say. Without, like, going so deep into development that I might as well just start it. You forgot to credit yourself. Oh, me! I'm the creator of this. I am the creator of this gacha game idea. My name is Michaela Laws, 2026. Chaos Reigns is a now copyrighted idea from me, including all of these dynamics of these marketing ideas, these concepts, these ideas, etc., etc. These are mine now. So, there you go. There you go. I verbally copyrighted it, verbally confirmed I am the creator of these ideas. So there you go. That way it's in vocal writing and all that stuff. But I do give you more subs. Oh, you're so sweet. You donate buttons used to work for me. I think I turned it off for a while because again I had to go to hiatus because I've been working on another game. But yeah. So, can we see the game in 10 years? Man, I mean, like, again, I would never want to hire a team that works for free. I would always want to be able to try and find financial backing for my team members and be able to make sure they're paid. Because it's only fair. Like, if I'm working on the game and I'm getting paid, I would like the team members that work on this game to get paid too. So, but yeah. I talked a lot. I'm so sorry. I talked a lot. Holy shit, I talked a lot. Oh my god, I talked a lot. Yeah. Sorry, my brain just blanked. It's like, okay, brain empty now. Brain empty now. We love a yap session. I try not to have these because, like, a lot of the ideas that I come up with, I just write down and just let go. But today was very passionate, especially when I was talking about this as a throwaway passionate text and post on Twitter and social media. And it popped off, and I'm like, okay, you just fed Storyteller. So but yeah. All right. I'm going to be returning to streaming officially in August. My contract with my current game that I'm working on is wrapping up. So it's one of those things where I have to finish off before I can announce a date to when I can come back officially. But I will be coming back to streaming full-time. This full-time will also include me returning to Mickey Going Crazy. It would also return to the game development streams of Home on the Strange, which I will be learning Godot. Guys, I'm excited. I get to learn Godot. Because we're at that stage now where I can actually sit there and learn Godot. So we'll be learning Godot to get that started, to get the game up to fruition. And then once I'm finally at the point where I need help financially, where I need to hire a team, I will eventually open up the Patreon to be able to fund paying for artists and music and programmers to help me out, things of that nature to kind of help make this Home on the Strange happen. So I'm really, really excited to be able to get into that. Until then, I'm gonna throw you all, I believe Roy is streaming now. So I'm gonna throw you all at Roy, because Roy is streaming Onimusha 2, and he's not gonna stop until it ends. So I'm gonna throw you all. Tell him that chaos reigns. So if Roy on streams on YouTube and on Twitch, chaos reigns. That is the tagline we're gonna use. Chaos reigns. Okay. So everyone, remember, when you get to Roy, chaos reigns. Sounds good? Sounds good. All right, everyone. Thanks everyone for coming. Have wonderful sweet dreams, and I will see you all next time. Love you all. Bye.